how beautiful this is. First off, I would like to start by saying I'm sorry I didn't have a video last week. I ended up getting super busy. I just started a new job at the post office. So I've been kind of going through that, trying to get in the hang of that, and I've just been so busy. So today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to use Lightroom Mobile. And so I'm going to be taking a few photos here, and I will meet you in Lightroom. Let's go. Okay, so Lightroom Mobile is a free mobile app for Android and Apple. I personally love Lightroom Mobile just because it's exactly the same as Lightroom on the desktop, and that's all I use pretty much. Sometimes I'll use Photoshop, but most of the time it's always Lightroom. So it's basically, you know, if you've used Lightroom, it's almost the same thing. Obviously, one is you're just doing it on your phone. The other one you're doing on desktop. So down here you have all of your different things that you can do, and so I'm going to go through a little bit of them with you. The only thing that you have to pay for in this app is going to be the masking tool and the healing brush. I have no idea why, it's just what they do. So I'm going to go through how I start my edits, which I'm always going through my presets, trying to find a preset, kind of a look that I want to go with my photos. So I'm going to go down here to the preset button. I'm going to click on presets. So now I have different presets from different creators and myself. So I will just go through these and try to find one that I personally like. So let's see. Not seeing any here. Actually, what is this? And you can also look at them, preview them, and yeah, it's not one that I want to do. Let's see. Let's go to. Let's see. Let me actually go to my presets here. Let's see. I kind of like the beach theme. Obviously it fits with the photo, so I'm gonna go with the beach theme. So there you go. There's the so here's the before, there's the after. Obviously I'm not done with this yet. There's obviously a lot more that I need to do. So now what I like to do is I like to go for the crop. I like to crop this. You can always rotate it. You can flip it, and the custom, I normally like to go with the 5:4 or 5:4. And so what I'll do is I will move this over just a tad. Alright, I think that will be good. I'm going to go up here to the check it, it's done. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the light, and so here is going to be for your highlights, your shadows, contrast, exposure, your whites and your blacks. So first I'm going to go ahead and actually bring the exposure up just a tad. I don't want to bring it up too much. If this will go up, there we go. Okay, so I think probably something like that. Okay, and the shadows I think are just a little too much, so I'm going to bring the shadows down just a tad bit more, something kind of like that. And I like to also play around with them. Sometimes I'll come back to this and play with them a little bit more. You just got to keep playing with it till you get that right look that you want to go for. So and then I'll come down here to the blacks and turn the blacks down just a little bit more, kind of get that dark feeling. And the whites, play with that a little bit. probably right there. I think that'll be good. So I'm done with this for now. Now I'm going to come over here to the color. So here you have your temperature. You can turn your temperature more warm or more, cold, depending on the mood that you want to go for. I like to try to go for like the way the temperature is on the outside. So like if it's a colder day, I like to go ahead and kind of bring down the the blue tint or the temperature down, just because I want to have that cool feeling. During the summer, I like to use a lot of the warmer colors, and it just depends on the type of photos that you're doing. So here I'm going to go through and I'm going to bring down the vibrance just a tad and the saturation up just a tad as well. Okay, and here you have your tint. You can make it more green, more purple. I don't normally mess with this just because it's not something that I personally use. So here there's the grading that you can use. You can go through and find a different grade for the shadows and the midtones as well as the highlights. But like I said, I don't normally touch those unless I absolutely need to. So I like this. I just don't really care for the teal color sky and the water. To me, it just looks too fake. So I like to go through and play with the colors here, the blues. So I'm going to bring the saturation up a little bit and the luminance. Okay, so it's a little bit better. I think that actually looks pretty good. And you can also go through and play with the oranges and the reds, just depending on what you want to do with your photos. So to me, that is good. So here is the effects, and you can go your texture. You can put as much texture as you want, or you can have it more blurred. I like a little bit of texture in mine just because I just like to see a little extra texture in there. And same with the clarity. You can bring the clarity up, bring it down. I like to have a little bit of clarity as well. The dehaze, it all depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I leave it as is, and sometimes I will bring it up. So I like that. And then the vignette, I also always throw the vignette on it. I know a lot of people don't really care for the vignettes, but it's just something that, it's a personal thing. I personally like it. Some people don't. So it's entirely up to you. So here I like to bring the sharpening up too a little bit. So that's good. So I still think that this photo is a little bit dark. So I'm actually going to come up here and I'm going to bring the exposure up just a tad bit more. Ooh, not reset. If my pen tool would work. There we go. Let's see. I think that's good. Okay, and here I'm going to use the masking tool just to kind of show you kind of what it is. So you can either select the subject or the sky, or you can brush. You can use a brush for detecting where you want this effect to be. So if I would go there, obviously if you go to the contrast, it's just going to change that spot that you highlighted. So I don't personally use the brush very often. So what I will do is I will go ahead and select the sky because I want to do the sky a little bit different. you know, kind of brighten it up a little bit. So right here I'm just selecting the sky, and there you go, it automatically does it for you. It has gotten so much easier. You don't have to, I mean, I used to always have to use the brush tool, but now it's just a click of a button. And sometimes it doesn't work for certain things, like I think that's good right there, but like, say I want to go and select the subject. Well, it's going to determine what it thinks the subject is. And so it doesn't always see, as you can tell, the red parts are what it thinks the subject is. So it all depends on what it is that you're doing. So I think that's good the way it is. To me, it just seems a little bit more dark still. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it up just a tad bit more, just because I don't like my photos very dark. So there we go. I think that's good for me. This is just a little quick tutorial. So if you go ahead and hold this button down, you can see the before and the after. Before and after. And actually, you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the radial tool, or the linear gradient and the radial. So you can come in from either way. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring the exposure up. Okay, and I'm going to go here with the color and kind of brighten it. Take the yellows a little bit more. So I think that's good. And then, you know, with the radial, here you go, and you can say you want this to be the main focus right there. You know, if you have a subject right there, you can, it's, you know, you can highlight it, darken it, whatever the case is. So, but obviously I'm not going to use that. So again, this is the before and the after. Let's see, I just found a mistake, and that's another thing I always like to go through and double check everything, because right here I just noticed the green. I don't like to have, you know, I want it to be more green, you know. So I mean, as you can tell, that right there just adds so much more. So there you have it. That's a little tutorial on how to edit with some of the features on Lightroom Mobile. I hope this video helped you out. If you like this video, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and push those notifications to see further videos. And if you have any ideas of what you want to see in the next videos, please leave them in the comments. I would love to see I would love to just have your opinion. So, alright, we'll see you in the next video. Peace!